In soap opera intrigue, suspicions arise beyond surface events. Protagonist questions causality, suspecting deeper motives than apparent. Pregnancy and interpersonal drama suggest complexities, but protagonist senses underlying mystery. In a world of melodrama, anything is possible, fostering suspicion and anticipation. 10 major EastEnders spoilers for the upcoming week. On EastEnders, Bianca returns the following week. Billy must deal with his estranged father Stevie, while Yolanda raises questions. Here is a comprehensive list of the most significant moments to be aware of. 1. Bianca is back on Albert Square. Next week, Walford royalty will return when Bianca makes an unexpected visit. Before she can even settle in, though, she is entangled in a lot of drama. Bianca is curious as to why Zach has become so successful, given all of the issues he and Whitney have been facing. However, when she does eventually see the man in question, he quickly leaves after becoming unable to answer all of her inquiries. 2. Lexi is still dubious about Nadine, although Nadine keeps telling Jay and his family that she was kicked out of her house in an attempt to get closer to them. Lexi is not fond of her presence. After Lexi chooses to tell Billy that she saw Nadine drinking, Billy ends up pissing Jay off by pointing out that having a paternity test would be the right course of action. Later, Nadine tries to gather everyone together over cocktails at the Vic, but a happy moment between Billy and Honey is cut short when a well-known face shows up. 3. Billy has an unexpected guest. Fans were left wondering if Billy's father, Stevie, would ever be seen again after he was last seen at a Mitchell family burial a few months ago. Next week, the answer to that question will become clear when he walks into the square and is met by an astonished Billy. Although Stevie faces challenges in winning the family over, especially with Billy and Phil, he makes an effort to speak openly with his son about their history. Regretfully, when the subject of the late Jamie comes up, things rapidly spiral out of control, with Billy kicking his father out. It's obvious that Stevie still has a ways to go in their connection with Billy. 4. Bianca attempts to assist Bernie. Vinny is getting ready to reopen the cafe, but as he gets things going, Bernie finds it difficult to see it happening again. This makes sense, considering that she had been working above her deceased brother's body for weeks. Upon observing Bernie's extreme difficulties, Bianca makes the decision to speak with her in an attempt to support her in moving on and to see if she can get back to work. Will her remarks, though, have the intended impact? 5. Yolanda comes to a resolution following her attack by Pastor Clayton. Yolanda has continued to skip prayer groups, and her uninformed family is becoming increasingly concerned about her unpredictable attitude. Yolanda gets emotional after having a heart-to-heart with Jean, and this causes her to decide that she wants to plan Jordan's baptism. 6. Rice reveals Whitney's identity. Rice is very good at sticking his foot in it, and he does it again the next week. This time, though, it causes Whitney a lot of trouble since his slip of the tongue has disastrous results. When Rice unintentionally informs Britney's teacher that Whitney is not actually her mother, social services are called and come to take the child away. 7. Stevie starts to doubt Nadine the following week. Nadine finds herself under even more suspicion as Stevie starts to suspect that she might be up to no good. Driven by the details he learns from Lexi, Stevie expresses his awareness that something is amiss and joins the chorus of people demanding a paternity test. 8. Zach and Bianca work together. Zach and Bianca set out to locate Keely. Eventually, Bianca loses her cool and tells Keely precisely what she thinks of her and her parenting abilities. Despite initially agreeing to meet with the couple, things quickly go south. Keely concludes that Britney would be happier somewhere as a result of this. 9. Yolanda's plan is approved by Chelsea. Yolanda is really excited about Jordan's baptism and goes all out, but Chelsea is not amused and tells her to back off over matters pertaining to her son. Yolanda is relieved that her plans do not need to change when Patrick and Denise, believing that the diversion will help her, are able to convince her to change her mind. Regretfully, Yolanda quickly finds out that Pastor Clayton soon finds out about the baptism and asks Chelsea to speak with him about it. 9. Anna visits Eddie. Anna makes the decision to visit Eddie in prison, but she is hesitant to tell her father because of the tense relationship between him and George. She finds out that Gloria's burial has already occurred while chatting with Eddie, and she now has to figure out how to let George know. 10. Yolanda's actions are much more concerning when Yolanda finds out that Chelsea is meeting with Pastor Clayton to talk about the baptism. She is appalled and gives Chelsea the order to leave, raising eyebrows in the process. Yolanda is even more alarmed after her second encounter with the preacher, as Denise, Chelsea, and Patrick debate whether or not she ought to visit a doctor. Furthermore, Yolanda's inattentive behavior almost starts a fire at home, leading Patrick to believe that Yolanda may require assistance. EastEnders. Unbelievably, Britney's biological father was uncovered as a Walford resident. Fans of EastEnders are certain that Zach Hudson is Britney's biological father. The problematic teenager first came to light when Whitney Dean and Zach went to see Bianca Jackson in Milton Keynes earlier this year. When Britney, portrayed by Lola Campbell, was observed searching through trash cans for food, pregnant Whitney became interested in her. As they head back to Albert Square, Whitney is now illegally fostering Britney out of a desire to care for the schoolgirl. Zach hasn't learned the whole story yet. Whitney was even more distraught when she learned earlier this week that Britney had Usher syndrome, which means she would eventually lose her sight and hearing, and that the condition's symptoms are already becoming worse. Since Britney appeared to be in trouble, Zach was hesitant to take her under his wing and rather that girlfriend Whitney concentrate on the impending birth of their child. However, he seems to be growing fonder of her since then. Is Zach really Britney's father? EastEnders fans believe this to be a startling turn of events. One fan shared the bizarre hypothesis on social media by writing, "Just a thought," on an EastEnders Facebook fan page. Does anyone have the feeling that Zach and Britney's mother were formerly together? Maybe that's why they become so uncomfortable, feel that Britney is his, which is why he feels so guilty about Britney's mother and his absence. That's what I'm beginning to believe. He simply doesn't want Whitney to experience any stress as a result of her pregnancy. Another wrote, "Anything possible," in agreement. A third wrote, "I don't understand why he gets so uptight about Britney. He wasn't like that when he was around them fostering that little boy recently. There must be a cause, and I don't believe Whitney's pregnancy or Britney's fault alone. There must be more to it than meets the eye. Anything can happen in this nation of soap operas." Please subscribe our channel.